It's now my pleasure to invite up Stephanie Seeger, our speaker this evening. I'm not going to tell you too much of her bio because she's going to share a little bit about herself and her work in her talk tonight, but she is our wonderful inclusion specialist. Welcome, Stephanie.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephanie Seeger, and I'm the inclusion specialist here at Beth Am. I'm also a 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade special day class teacher during the week. My devar tonight is technically about inclusion, but it's also about love. Fitting that Inclusion Month is in February. Some education background. Most people think of education as just in the classroom. But when you get a degree in education, it's actually a bachelor's of science in education. Education and how we teach is actually a result of lots of scientific inquiry and research. It's not static, it changes over time. And in the last 20 years, there's been lots of interest in how the brain learns. And we've always known that people learn differently and in different ways, but now we realize this is actually a good thing. When it comes to treating people, all people, with kindness and respect, there are no exceptions to the rule. The Torah says that even a rich, important landowner must treat every one of his staff with care and respect. The Torah way is never to look down on or exclude anyone. Technically, though, inclusion is the act or practice of including students with differing abilities within the general education population, not separating them. Inclusive education systems understand the importance of the unique contributions students from diverse backgrounds and who have different learning styles, what they bring into the classroom. Inclusion means we create a space so everyone can learn, not just the academics, but everything that they need, all the tools they need to be a successful person. What does that mean, though? Well, here at Beth Am, I work with teachers and parents to best support students with different learning needs in our Sunday program and Hebrew classes. I suggest accommodations that will help both students and teachers, because both students and teachers benefit when everyone is supported. In a classroom setting, you'll hear the word accommodations a lot. An accommodation is just a support we give students so that they can better learn. I call them supports for success. The first time I remember seeing an accommodation was in 5th grade. One of the kids in my class was always in trouble for being out of their seat. I don't want to say their name, so just for ease of use, we'll call him Albert Einstein. When Albert and the teacher finally compromised that he could just stand with one knee on the chair and get all of his work done, I saw relief from both parties. That accommodation actually helped them both. This, of course, was back when students' desks were in nice, neat rows. Paying attention meant you actually had to have your eyes, your ears, everything, your body turned toward the teacher at all times. But the education system in our country was set up at the same time as in the Industrial Revolution. With assembly lines, everything is the same, all kids the same age, in the same classroom, very cookie cutter. But we aren't cookies, and we don't fit into molds, and children don't either. Babies get high chairs to sit in, and it accommodates their size and how they manage or, mismanage their food. Kindergartners get those big fat pencils. It accommodates their tiny little hands and their grip. Here at Beth Am, our Sunday program and Hebrew teachers have access to supports like fidgets, which I know can be like, we've all heard about fidgets or seen fidgets, but for those students that really just need to be using their hands. Some of you might have been used to doodling a little bit, like in the margins as your teacher was talking, and you could still hear them and understand them, but fidgets are just kind of like the upgrade to doodling. And we have wiggle seats for students who need to move around so they're not out of their seat all the time, like our friend Albert, but it helps them stay seated and move. This year, teachers have also added visual schedules on their board for students who need to see what's coming next and who enjoy their routines. There's actually a room for students to go to if they feel like they just need a calm space. And I also regularly see our madrachim taking students for walks in the hallway when they need breaks. We don't exclude students who need to move or take breaks or have big feelings. We help them stay in class. Here in the sanctuary, Rabbi Heath mentioned we have bags at the back of the room to help keep our youngest members occupied during services. We understand they have different abilities when it comes to attention. We don't exclude them from services because they're utchi. We help them stay. And we have accommodations for adults too. Our friends who are unable to make it to services in person can live stream our services on YouTube, let's say, and that way they can continue to enjoy our community from the comfort of their own homes. Hi, everybody. For our congregants who want to come to synagogue but who might have trouble walking, we have reserved parking spaces. That accommodation is, of course, part of the American with Disabilities Act laws. In this week's Torah portion, Adonai says, "Tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You shall accept gifts for me from everyone whose heart is so moved, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them." And children, of course, have the purest hearts. In the workplace, we also have options to work from home, staggered hours, standing desks to accommodate working parents, those for whom sitting all day is uncomfortable. We don't exclude these folks from the workforce. We help them stay. Companies know that happy employees are more productive. Of course, children are not employees. They're not paid for any of the tasks that are expected of them. Getting up on time in the morning, eating, showering, brushing, getting dressed, getting to school on time, being sure to remember their homework, lunch, water bottle, coat, etc., focusing during all their classes, even the boring ones, while they sit all day listening and talk, taking in as much as they possibly can so that they complete all their schoolwork and their homework, getting home with everything they brought to school, any chores they do regularly at home, sitting at dinner and giving us insights into their day, the wash, flush, brush of bedtime. We all know that happy, healthy children have a much easier time with all of these tasks. Anyone who's tried to convince a grumpy teen to empty the dishwasher knows. But what we get in return is not productivity, it's love. Smiles, hugs, eyes that light up, hands held, joking, laughs. Getting to watch your children blossom and grow, succeed, and become young adults you admire is the ultimate gift. As a teacher, I have the honor of loving and being loved by my students every day, not just in February. It's one of the many benefits of providing those supports for success. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.